Hello there, and welcome to this quiet space. Tonight, our journey takes us not inward, but outward, to the very edge of everything we know. We will travel on the soft currents of thought, beyond the familiar stars, into the silent, shimmering ocean of possibility. We are here to listen for whispers, echoes from worlds that brush against our own, unseen and unfelt. We will gently explore one of the most profound and wondrous questions the human heart has ever asked. In the infinite expanse of reality, does another you exist? Some of what we encounter will feel like a dream, a familiar echo from a life you almost lived. Other ideas will be vast and astonishing, like gazing into an endless hall of mirrors, each reflection a complete and living world. But every thought, every whisper will be a gentle invitation to wonder, a window into a cosmos far stranger, deeper and more beautifully complex than we can ever truly imagine. This evening, we will drift through a collection of these cosmic curiosities, glimpses into realms where every choice you ever made and every choice you didn't unfolds into its own unique reality. Worlds where time may not flow in a straight line, and where the self is not a single point, but a vast and sparkling constellation. You may find your mind expanding to hold these ideas, or you may simply let them flow over you like the gentle light of distant stars, a soothing lullaby for the soul. If you enjoy these explorations into the quiet mysteries of existence, and would like to join us for more journeys into the profound, you can like and subscribe below. Feel free to leave your own reflections in the comments, sharing the whispers you may have heard in your own quiet moments. But for now, that can all wait. For now, all that is required of you is to find comfort. Let your body grow heavy, your breathing slow to the rhythm of the sleeping world, and allow the quiet wonder of the cosmos to wash gently over you. Let us begin. Imagine, for a moment, that you are standing in an open field on the clearest of nights. The air is still and cool, carrying the scent of damp earth and distant sleeping trees. The world around you is a landscape of soft shadows and deep silence, and above, the sky is a vast, velvet canvas, punctured by 1,000 tiny points of cold, ancient light. There are no city glows to wash away their brilliance, no clouds to veil their mystery. There is only you, and the immense quiet presence of the universe. As you breathe in the cool night air, you feel a sense of profound stillness settle over you. The concerns of the day, the lists and the worries begin to dissolve, becoming small and insignificant beneath this cathedral of stars. Your own heartbeat seems to slow, syncing with the silent, patient turning of the cosmos. In this deep quiet, your senses open. You feel the gentle pressure of the ground beneath your feet, an anchor to this one specific place, this one singular moment in time. But your gaze is drawn upward, lost in the sheer scale of what lies above. Each star you know is a sun, a powerful burning heart of a distant system. And many of those suns, logic tells us, likely have planets of their own, circling them in a silent gravitational dance. Worlds of ice, worlds of fire, and perhaps, just perhaps, worlds not so different from our own. As you stand there, suspended between the solid earth and the infinite sky, a thought may begin to form. It does not arrive as a loud intrusion, but as a gentle, almost imperceptible whisper carried on the cosmic wind. It is a question that has been asked in countless languages by countless souls standing under this very same sky throughout human history. The question is this: in all of that endless silent space, in the unfathomable ocean of worlds that may exist, is it possible that life has arisen elsewhere? And if so, could it be that somewhere, in a pattern of starlight so distant we will never see it, another story is unfolding that is uncannily familiar? The thought deepens, becomes more personal. It moves from a general wonder about life to a specific wonder about your life. Could it be that the forces of creation, the physical laws that give rise to galaxies and stars and planets, are not so limited as to only run this grand experiment once? If the universe is truly infinite, as some of our deepest theories suggest, then it is not just possible, but statistically probable, that the exact arrangement of particles that makes up this Earth, this solar system, and even you, has been repeated, not just once, but countless times over, an infinite number of times. The idea settles, not in your logical mind, but in your heart. It feels both impossibly vast and deeply intimate. The thought that somewhere, another person, with your face, your memories, your hopes, and your fears, is at this very moment also looking up at their own sky, filled with their own patterns of stars. They might be standing in a field just like this one, feeling the same cool air on their skin. Or perhaps they are in a city that hums with a gentle futuristic energy, looking up through a sky filled with vessels moving between worlds. Or maybe they are in a world where the great choices of history went another way, where empires that fell in our world still stand, and the very language they think in is one that for us has been lost to time. The question is no longer just does another you exist. It becomes something more profound. Which one is the original? Which one is the echo? Or are you all the infinite versions of you, equally real, equally alive? Standing under the silent, watchful eyes of a billion stars, you are faced with a beautiful and unsettling thought. You are not alone, not in the way you once thought. Your life, this unique and precious thread of experiences, might be just one single verse in an infinite poem, a poem being written across a tapestry of countless parallel worlds, and the quiet of the night is suddenly filled with the silent imagined hum of all those other lives, all those other yous, living out every possibility, every dream, every quiet moment of existence, all at once. There is a quiet room inside of every mind, a place of soft echoes and gentle ghosts. It is here that we keep the lives we never lived. You can feel them sometimes, in moments of deep stillness. It might be the faint, phantom scent of a perfume worn by someone you almost loved, or the silent, imagined weight of a book you almost wrote, its pages filled with words that were never put to paper. It is the feeling of a different city's morning light on your face, a city you considered moving to but never did. These are the ghosts of your other selves, the silent companions who walk beside you, born from the choices you did not make. Every day, from the moment you wake, you stand at a crossroads. The choice to press snooze on the alarm or to rise immediately. The choice to wear blue instead of green. The choice to speak a kind word or to remain silent. Most of these choices feel small, insignificant, like stones skipped across the surface of a pond, their ripples vanishing almost as soon as they appear. We believe our life is the path forged by the stones that we did throw, the decisions that we did make. We see our reality as a single solid line, stretching from our past into our future. But what if every choice, no matter how small, was not the closing of a door, but the opening of one? Imagine your life not as a single path through a forest, but as the forest itself. At every step, every fallen log, every turn in the trail, a new path branches off. In this reality, you chose to step to the left, but in another, a perfect copy of you, up until that very instant, chose to step to the right. And in that moment, two worlds are born from one, two independent, fully real universes, each continuing on its own trajectory. The you who stepped left continues on, perhaps to see a rare bird take flight. The you who stepped right misses the bird, but instead finds a strangely shaped stone that captures their imagination. Two different experiences, two slightly different memories, two selves beginning a slow, almost imperceptible drift away from one another. Now multiply this by every choice you have ever made. The decision to accept a job offer or to turn it down, the choice to end a relationship or to stay, the choice to get on a particular train on a particular day. Each of these moments is not just a point in your past, it is a point of creation, a place where your personal universe split and another version of you continued down the road, not taken. This idea can feel overwhelming at first, like standing at the base of a mountain whose peaks are lost in the clouds. The sheer number of these other selves is beyond counting. There is a you who became a celebrated artist, pouring their soul onto canvas in a sun-drenched studio. There is a you who became a scientist, spending their nights peering through a telescope, searching for answers in the same sky you are watching now. There is a you who chose to stay in your hometown, who married your childhood sweetheart, and whose life is filled with a kind of simple, profound peace. There is a you who suffered a great loss that you were spared, and who was forged into someone stronger, sadder, and perhaps wiser than you can imagine. Every joy you've ever wondered about, every sorrow you've ever feared, is being experienced right now by someone who is, in essence, you. These are not fantasies. They are not dreams. In this view of reality, they are as real, as solid, as the ground beneath your feet. They breathe the air of their own worlds. They feel the warmth of their own sun. They love, they hope, they grieve, and all that separates you from them is a choice, a single, momentary decision that sent you down this particular stream in the great, ever-branching river of existence. And so, the quiet room in your mind is not just a place of imagination, it is a listening post, a place where, if you are still enough, you can almost hear the faint, distant music of all your other lives, a beautiful, complex symphony of every single thing you could have ever been. This feeling, this deep, intuitive sense of other possibilities, of lives running in parallel to our own, can feel like something born of poetry or dreams. It is the language of late-night conversations, of quiet reflection, of the stories we tell ourselves to make sense of the paths we have taken. We often file it away as a beautiful but ultimately unreal fantasy, a gentle way to soothe the sting of regret or to entertain the boundless nature of our imagination. We see it as a product of the heart, not of the mind, a feeling, not a fact. But what if this feeling is more than that? What if it is an echo, a faint resonance of a truth so vast and so strange that our rational minds struggle to hold it, but our deepest intuition can somehow sense its presence? What if the most rigorous, disciplined, and logical explorations of our physical world were leading us to the very same place that our daydreams do? For centuries, science has been a process of paring away, of simplifying. It sought to find the one singular, elegant law that governed everything. It looked for the ultimate, indivisible particle, the one true story of the cosmos. But in the last century, as we peered deeper into the heart of matter, into the very fabric of space and time, a different story began to emerge. The universe, it seemed, was not so simple. At the quantum level, the world of the very small reality itself seemed to lose its solidity. A particle, before it is observed, does not exist in one single place. It exists in a haze of possibilities, a cloud of potential, occupying all possible locations at once. The world at its most fundamental level appeared to be built not on certainties, but on a shimmering, endless sea of maybes. And it was in trying to make sense of this profound strangeness that some physicists proposed an idea as daring as it was beautiful. They suggested that perhaps the universe never chooses when faced with a quantum crossroads, a point where a particle could go left or right. It does both. Reality itself splits, two complete entire universes are born, one for each possibility. This idea did not come from a desire to explain a feeling. It came from the cold, hard, and elegant language of mathematics. It emerged as a potential solution to the deepest puzzles of quantum mechanics. It suggests that the reason the quantum world seems so strange to us is because we are only seeing one single branch of an infinitely branching tree. We experience one outcome, one path, while countless others are unfolding, silent and invisible, alongside our own. Suddenly, the poet's dream and the physicist's equation begin to whisper the same thing. The feeling of those other lives, those ghosts of choice, may not be just a trick of memory or a product of longing. It might be the human mind, in its incredible sensitivity, picking up on the faintest tremor from the other side of reality. It could be that our consciousness, itself a product of these complex quantum processes, retains a kind of cellular memory of the moment of splitting, a lingering ghost-like awareness of the paths not taken, precisely because those paths were in fact taken. And so we find ourselves in a remarkable place. Our most ancient, intuitive feelings about the nature of our lives are suddenly looking back at us from the pages of our most advanced physics. The notion of parallel worlds, of other yous, begins to shift. It moves from the realm of science fiction into the realm of profound, albeit speculative, scientific thought. It is a reminder that the universe is not obligated to conform to our common sense. Its truths are often far grander, far more magical than our limited perceptions can easily accommodate. The gentle ache of what if is no longer just a personal, emotional experience. It becomes a clue, a hint, a quiet invitation to consider that your one singular life is afloat on an ocean of infinite realities, and that the whispers you sometimes hear in the dead of night are not coming from your imagination, but perhaps from the other side of a veil you never knew was there. Imagine your life as a silent, winding river flowing through the vast landscape of time. From your vantage point, here in the gentle current of the now, the river appears as a single, unbroken stream. You can look back at the bends and turns of the past, the calm pools of contentment, and the rapids of challenge, and it all seems to have led, inevitably, to this one quiet moment. The path feels singular, destined, as if no other course was ever possible. But the new physics, the whispers from the heart of reality, suggests a different story. It asks us to see our life not as a single river, but as a delta, an immense, ever-expanding network of waterways, splitting and branching at every turn. Think of a choice you once made, a moment that felt heavy with consequence. Perhaps it was the decision to move to a new city, leaving the familiar behind, or the choice to begin a conversation with a stranger who would become the center of your world. In the moments leading up to that decision, you could feel the pull of two different futures. You could almost taste the air of two different lives. In our common understanding of the world, making the choice means one of those futures dissolves into mist, becoming a ghost, a phantom limb of a life you will never know. The door to that other reality swings shut and is locked forever. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, however, offers a vision that is both staggering and strangely comforting. It suggests that the door does not close. It suggests that the universe, in its infinite creativity, refuses to discard any possibility. At the very instant of your choice, the river of your reality does not simply change course, it splits. In one universe, the one you now inhabit, you pack your bags. You say your goodbyes. You step into a new life in a new city, and your story continues from there. But in another universe, born in that very same fraction of a second, a version of you identical in every way up to that point, makes the opposite choice. That you stays, that you wakes up the next morning in the same familiar bed, and their story continues along a different stream. Neither reality is an echo, neither is a dream. Both are completely real, completely physical, and utterly independent. The you that left and the you that stayed are now embarked on separate journeys, each believing their own world is the only one. This splitting is not a rare or dramatic event. It is happening constantly, with every quantum event in the cosmos. Every time a particle of light chooses a path, every time a radioactive atom decays or doesn't, the universe branches. And since our own thoughts and choices are, at their root, complex electrochemical processes governed by these same quantum laws, our own lives are part of this constant, silent, and magnificent proliferation of worlds. This means that, for every moment of regret you have ever felt, for every path not taken that has ever haunted your quiet hours, there is a world where that regret does not exist, because that path was taken. Somewhere, a version of you is living out the life that would have unfolded if you had said yes instead of no. Somewhere, a you exists who took the creative risk you shied away from and is now living a life filled with art and expression. Somewhere, a you exists who mended the relationship you let break and is now warmed by a love that, in your world, has grown cold. This is not to diminish the reality of your own choices or your own life. On the contrary, it elevates them. Every decision you make is not just a personal act, but a cosmic one. It is an act of creation. You are not merely a passenger navigating a pre-existing map of reality. You are, in a very real sense, a co-creator of it, birthing entire universes with the power of your will. Think of it like this. Your life is a single, continuous note in an infinite symphony. The note you are playing is beautiful and unique, shaped by the choices you have made. But all around you, unheard and unseen, are the notes of all the other lives you could have lived. The symphony as a whole contains every possible melody, every harmony, every dissonance. The existence of those other melodies does not make your own any less real. It simply makes the entire composition more grand, more complete, more breathtakingly beautiful. The feeling of loss for a path not taken can be replaced by a sense of peace that other path was not lost. It is being walked right now by someone who is also you, and perhaps in their own quiet moments, they sometimes feel a faint, inexplicable sense of a life they almost lived, a life where they made a different choice, a life that is yours. The universe in this view is a place of radical inclusion. Nothing is wasted. No potential is left unexplored. It is an immense, silent, and ever-growing forest of timelines, and your life is one perfect, irreplaceable tree within it, reaching for its own unique patch of sky. Before a raindrop forms, there is only the cloud, a vast, formless, and gentle haze, holding within it the potential for a billion different droplets. It is a state of pure possibility, a quiet, hovering promise of what might be. It is not here, nor there. It is in a sense everywhere and nowhere, all at once. This is the closest our everyday world comes to describing one of the deepest and most mysterious truths of the quantum realm, the principle of superposition. Before we look at it, before we measure it, the universe exists in this state of gentle, undefined potential. A single particle, like an electron, is not a tiny solid ball sitting in one specific spot. It is more like a wave, a ripple of probability, spread out across space. This wave represents all the places the electron could be, all the states it could possess, all at the same time. It is like the cloud, a haze of pure potential. Now, bring this idea from the world of the very small into the world of your own life. Think of a moment of pure indecision, You stand before two doors, each leading to a different future. For a short while, you do not choose. You simply are. In that moment of suspension, you hold both futures within your mind. You can feel the texture of both realities. You can imagine the conversations you would have, the feelings you would feel, down each path. In that suspended moment, you are in a state of superposition. Your future is not yet a single fixed point. It is a cloud of possibilities, a wave of potential that contains both outcomes. For that brief time, you are both the person who goes through the door on the left and the person who goes through the door on the right. Both versions of your future self are held in potential within the quiet space of your consciousness. The universe, quantum mechanics suggests, behaves in much the same way. Before an interaction forces a choice, all possibilities exist in a kind of blended, overlapping, simultaneous reality. This is not just a mathematical trick or a convenient way of speaking. It is believed to be the fundamental nature of existence. Reality at its core is not a collection of solid, definite things. It is a shimmering, vibrant, and dynamic field of potential. Every particle in your body, every photon of light streaming through your window, every atom in the distant stars exists as this wave of possibility until it is called upon to become something definite. Imagine a seed. Within that tiny, quiet object lies the blueprint for an entire tree. It contains the potential for roots, for a trunk, for branches, for thousands of leaves, for flowers, for fruit. It is not yet any of these things, but it is, in a very real sense, all of them at once. Superposition is the seed state of the cosmos. It is the universe before it has decided what it will become. It is the silent, pregnant pause before the music begins. This idea can gently reshape how we view our own lives and our own potential. We often think of ourselves as fixed entities, defined by our past actions and our current state. But if the universe at its heart is a field of possibility, then so are we. At every moment, you are a wave of potential. You are not just the person you were yesterday. You are also all the people you could possibly be tomorrow. The potential to be kinder, to be braver, to learn something new, to change a habit is not just a nice idea. It is woven into your very fabric, just as the potential for an electron to be here or there is woven into its nature. You are a living, breathing state of superposition. This moment right now is a cloud of infinite possibilities for what the next moment can be. When we feel stuck, it is often because we have forgotten this. We have mistaken the single droplet of our current experience for the entire cloud of our potential. We have mistaken the one path we are on for the entire landscape of what is possible. But the truth may be that the mist of possibility is always around us, always within us. It is the quiet, humming potential energy that fuels all of creation. It is the silent promise that nothing is ever truly fixed and that the next moment always holds the potential to be something entirely, beautifully, and surprisingly new. Imagine a vast, dark lake, its surface perfectly still, under a moonless sky. The water is supercooled, existing in a fragile liquid state far below its freezing point. It is pure potential, waiting. Then, a single grain of dust, a tiny, almost weightless imperfection, touches the surface. In an instant, a chain reaction begins. Intricate, beautiful crystals of ice blossom outwards from that single point, spreading across the entire lake in a silent, breathtaking flash of creation. What was once fluid and undefined potential has become a solid, structured, and singular reality. This moment of transformation, this flash of crystallization, is a beautiful metaphor for what might be one of the most mysterious and powerful processes in the universe. The act of observation. In the quantum world, as we have seen, particles exist as a wave of potential, a cloud of possibilities. a state of superposition. But this misty, dreamlike state does not last forever. When a quantum system is measured, or when it interacts with its environment in a significant way, something remarkable happens. The wave of potential collapses. The cloud of possibilities condenses into a single definite droplet. The electron that could have been anywhere suddenly is somewhere. A single reality is chosen from the infinite menu of possibilities. This process has puzzled and fascinated scientists for a century. What is it about the act of looking that forces the universe to make up its mind? What is this magical touch that turns the fluid lake of potential into the solid crystal of actuality? Some theories suggest that it is consciousness itself that acts as the catalyst, that the universe, in all its hazy potential, requires a conscious observer to look upon it in order to become fully real. In this view, the universe is not a lonely stage upon which consciousness randomly appeared. Instead, consciousness is a fundamental and necessary partner in the ongoing act of creation. We are not just passive spectators watching a pre-written play. We are, in a profound sense, the audience whose very attention allows the play to unfold. Our awareness is the gentle touch that crystallizes the world into being, moment by moment. Think about this in your own life. How many times has a vague feeling, a hazy idea, a cloud of anxieties suddenly snapped into sharp focus the moment you spoke it aloud, or wrote it down, or shared it with another person? The act of giving it form, of observing it with the focused lens of your attention and language, changes its nature. It ceases to be a nebulous potential and becomes something definite, something real that you can now interact with. The decision that felt impossible, while it was a swirling mist of pros and cons in your mind, becomes clear and solid the moment you commit to it. The choice, the observation, collapses the wave of your own personal potential into a single, tangible path. This doesn't mean our thoughts create reality in a simple, magical way, but it does suggest that the relationship between mind and matter, between observer and observed, is far more intimate and participatory than we have ever imagined. Our consciousness is not a mirror that passively reflects the world. It may be more like a tuning fork. When we direct our attention, we send a vibration into the field of potential, and in response, a specific reality resonates, sings back, and takes form. So, as you lie here, your own consciousness, this quiet, gentle awareness that is listening to these words, is a force of incredible power. It is the latest expression of a cosmic principle. Your simple act of being aware, of paying attention to the feeling of your breath, of noticing the quiet sounds in the room, is a continuous act of collapsing potential into reality. You are the eye of the universe, looking out upon itself. You are the grain of dust touching the surface of the lake. With every conscious moment, you are taking the infinite, shimmering mist of what could be and gently coaxing it into the beautiful, intricate, and unique crystal of what is. The world you are experiencing right now, in all its detail, is not just something that is happening to you. It is something that is happening in a deep and mysterious way with you. You are a participant in the silent, magical, and unending dance of creation, where awareness itself is the touch that turns the dream of potential into the substance of reality. Imagine that all of reality, every particle, every force, every galaxy is not made of tiny points, but of infinitesimally small, vibrating strings of energy, like the strings on a cosmic violin or cello. Each one vibrates at a specific frequency. The different vibrations of these fundamental strings are what give rise to everything we see and experience. A string vibrating in one way appears to us as an electron. The same string, vibrating in another way, appears as a photon of light, another vibration, a quark, another, a graviton. From this simple and elegant idea, called string theory, a breathtaking vision of the cosmos emerges. The universe is a symphony, a silent, magnificent piece of music, composed of the vibrations of countless tiny strings. The laws of physics, as we know them, are the rules of harmony for this symphony. The world we see around us, the chair you are sitting in, the air you are breathing, the distant stars, are all chords and melodies in this grand cosmic composition. This idea alone is wondrous enough, but the theory does not stop there. In its attempt to create a complete and harmonious picture, it requires something that shatters our everyday perception of space. It requires the existence of extra dimensions. We experience the world in 3 dimensions of space: length, width, and height, and one of time. But string theory suggests that there may be as many as 10 or 11 dimensions in total. The others are simply hidden from us, curled up so tightly on a scale so unimaginably small that we can never perceive them directly. It is within this higher dimensional space, often called the bulk, that our entire universe exists. And this is where the idea of parallel worlds takes on a new and startlingly intimate form. Imagine our universe, our entire 3-dimensional cosmos, is not all there is. Imagine it is just a thin sheet, a membrane, or brain for short, floating within this larger, higher dimensional reality. Now imagine that it is not the only one. Floating parallel to our own brain, perhaps less than a millimeter away in one of these hidden dimensions, is another universe, and another, and another, an infinite stack of parallel realities, like pages in a cosmic book that can never be opened. This is the concept of brain cosmology, a direct implication of string theory. It suggests that other universes, other worlds, are not in some far-flung, unreachable corner of our own space. They are right here, right now, all around us. They are closer to you than the ceiling above your head, separated only by a sliver of a dimension that you are unable to see or enter. The beings in that other universe would be made of their own strings, vibrating according to their own set of physical laws, creating their own unique music. They would live out their entire lives, build their own civilizations, ask their own questions about the cosmos, completely unaware of our existence, just as we are of theirs. The only force that theorists believe might be able to travel between these brains is gravity. It is possible that the strange, unexplained pull of dark matter, the invisible scaffolding that holds our galaxies together, is actually the gravitational shadow of matter in a nearby parallel universe, leaking across the dimensional divide. You could be feeling, at this very moment, the faint gravitational tug of another version of yourself, sitting in another room, in another world, that is only a hair's breadth away in a direction you cannot point to. This vision transforms our understanding of our place in the cosmos. We are not the center of everything. We may not even be a single isolated universe. We may be part of an infinite, multi-dimensional tapestry. The silence of your room is not empty. It is pregnant with the silent, invisible presence of countless other worlds, each one a complete symphony of its own. It's a thought that can inspire a profound sense of humility and awe. The reality we experience is so rich, so complex, so full of wonder, and yet, it may be just one single page in a book whose number of pages is endless. It is a reminder that the universe is always larger, stranger, and more magnificent than our imaginations can contain, and that even in our quietest, most solitary moments, we are surrounded by an infinity of unheard music, the silent, vibrating songs of other worlds, playing out their melodies in the hidden dimensions that lie just beyond the reach of our senses. Imagine yourself as a character drawn on a single flat sheet of paper. Your entire world is a two-dimensional landscape of lines and shapes. You can move forward and backward, left and right. You can perceive other two-dimensional shapes around you. You can live a full and complete life within this flat world, experiencing its own unique kind of beauty and complexity. You might develop your own science, your own art, your own philosophy, all based on the laws of a two-dimensional existence. Now, imagine that your sheet of paper is just one page in a thick book. Above you and below you are countless other pages, each with its own two-dimensional world drawn upon it. Worlds that are vibrant, full of life, and just as real as your own. But from your perspective, on your single page, these other worlds are completely imperceptible. You have no concept of up or down. That direction, that entire dimension, simply does not exist in your sensory experience. You could live your entire life a fraction of an inch away from another universe, and you would never ever know it. This simple thought experiment is perhaps the gentlest way to approach the question of why, if these other worlds or higher dimensions exist, we cannot see them. The answer is both simple and profound. We are built for the world we inhabit. Our senses, our bodies, our very consciousness evolved to perceive and navigate 3 dimensions of space and 1 of time. We are, in a sense, like the two-dimensional character on the page. We are beautifully and perfectly attuned to our own sheet of paper, but we are fundamentally blind to the book it might be a part of. We search the cosmos for signs of these other worlds, looking out into the vast distances of our own universe. But this may be like the 2D character, searching the edges of their paper for a clue to the page above. The answer does not lie at the edge of their world, but in a direction they are incapable of perceiving. These other universes, if they exist as parallel brains, are not far away in space. They are far away in dimension. They might be right here in the very room where you are now, shimmering with a reality as vibrant as your own, but forever beyond the reach of your senses, because they exist along a geometric axis that is invisible to you. Think of how different senses perceive the world. A dog experiences a rich and complex landscape of smells that is almost completely invisible to us. A bee sees the world in ultraviolet light, perceiving patterns on flowers that are hidden from our eyes. A bat navigates through a world of sound, building a detailed mental map from echoes. Each creature is tuned to its own specific slice of reality. We do not accuse the bee of hallucinating the patterns we cannot see, nor the dog of imagining the scents we cannot smell. We understand that reality is far richer than any single organism's senses can capture. It is possible, then, that our human senses, as magnificent as they are also tuned to just one particular station, one single brain in a vast multidimensional broadcast. There could be an infinite number of other stations playing simultaneously, each one a complete universe, but our perceptual equipment is simply not designed to pick them up. This idea does not make our world any less real. The page the 2D character lives on is still a complete and valid world for them. The smells the dog perceives are real. The patterns the bee sees are real. And this universe, this life, this moment is profoundly real for you. But the possibility of these hidden dimensions can infuse our reality with a new layer of mystery and wonder. It suggests that the perceived emptiness of space is an illusion of our limited senses. The silence between the stars may be ringing with the music of other realities. The very fabric of the space in your room may be layered with universes, each one a unique and beautiful expression of existence. It is a profoundly humbling thought, It gently dissolves the sense of cosmic loneliness that can sometimes creep in during the quiet hours. We may be, in a way we can never prove, part of a vast and interconnected cosmic community, a library of worlds stacked together in the silent, invisible architecture of higher dimensions. We are not lost and alone in a great void. We may simply be living our story on one beautiful, illuminated page, unaware of the infinite other stories being told, just a whisper away in a direction we have not yet learned how to see. Imagine the universe beginning, not with a single sudden bang, but as a vast and turbulent ocean of pure energy, a chaotic, superheated state, simmering with infinite potential. Now, imagine this cosmic ocean beginning to boil, like bubbles forming in a pot of water. Regions of this ocean begin to rapidly expand, ballooning outwards at a speed faster than light. Each of these bubbles is an act of creation. As it expands, the immense energy within it cools and coalesces into matter, into galaxies, stars, and planets. Each bubble becomes an entire self-contained universe. This is the vision of reality offered by the theory of eternal inflation. It suggests that our Big Bang was not a singular event, the beginning of everything, but simply the formation of our particular bubble in an infinite, ever-boiling cosmic ocean. This ocean, this multiverse, has always existed and will always continue to exist, constantly giving birth to new bubble universes. This idea creates a canvas of existence, so vast, it defies comprehension. Our entire observable universe, with its hundreds of billions of galaxies, is just one single, perhaps small, bubble in an endless sea of other bubbles. And the most wondrous part of this theory is that each bubble may not be the same as each universe bubble forms. The fundamental laws of physics within it might crystallize in a different way. Imagine each bubble as a unique snowflake with its own intricate and beautiful pattern. In our bubble, the forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, the nuclear forces, have the precise strengths that they do. These values seem exquisitely fine-tuned to allow for the formation of stars, planets, and ultimately, life. A slightly stronger nuclear force, and all the hydrogen in the universe would have fused into helium moments after the Big Bang, leaving no fuel for long-lasting stars like our Sun. A slightly weaker force of gravity, and matter would never have clumped together to form galaxies at all. Our universe seems balanced on a knife's edge of possibility. The bubble multiverse provides a stunning and elegant explanation for this seeming miracle. If there are an infinite number of bubble universes, then every possible combination of physical laws is likely to be tried out somewhere. We find ourselves in a universe that appears fine-tuned for life, for the same reason we find ourselves on a planet that is the perfect distance from its sun. It's a matter of selection. In the vast majority of these bubble universes, the laws of physics might be hostile to life as we know it. They might be chaotic, short-lived, or empty worlds where no complexity can ever form. We, by definition, can only exist and ask these questions in one of the bubbles where the conditions are just right. This doesn't make our existence any less precious. Finding a single beautiful seashell on an infinite beach does not make it less beautiful. In fact, the knowledge of all the empty stretches of sand around it can make its discovery feel even more special, more miraculous. So, let this idea gently settle in your mind. The reality you are a part of may be a single, gentle bubble floating in a timeless, infinite sea of creation. Other universes are not just parallel copies of our own. They are fundamentally different realities. There could be universes with 2 dimensions of time instead of 1, universes with 9 dimensions of space, universes where gravity is a repulsive force, pushing everything apart. Universes that are silent, crystalline structures, and universes that are raging torrents of exotic particles. An infinite cosmic laboratory where every conceivable form of existence is given a chance to be. Our universe, with its familiar laws, its beautiful complexity, its capacity for consciousness, is just one of these experiments, and it happens to be a successful one. It is a bubble that, against all odds, learned to think. It learned to wonder. It learned to look out at the darkness and imagine the other bubbles floating there in the silent, eternal ocean of the multiverse, each one a unique and lonely miracle of its own. There is a quiet and persistent ghost that walks beside each of us. It is the ghost of the person we would have become if we had said yes. You can feel its presence in the hushed moments of the day. It is there when you drive past the exit for a town you almost moved to, a faint whisper of a life filled with different streets, different neighbors, a different morning light. It is there when you hear a song that was once your song with someone who is now a stranger, a silent echo of a future that continued on without you. We often think of these moments with a sense of bittersweet loss, the gentle ache for a door that closed. But the physics of parallel worlds invites us to reimagine this ghost. It is not a phantom. It is not a memory of something lost. It is a portrait of someone who is vibrantly, fully alive in another world, born from the moment of your choice. Think of a significant crossroads in your past, a moment where you stood before two diverging paths, and after much thought, or perhaps on a whim, you chose one. Let us say it was the choice to pursue a safe and stable career, instead of taking the risk of following a creative passion. In this world, the world you now inhabit, you have a life defined by that stability. You have comfort, you have routine, you have a sense of security. But sometimes, late at night, you may wonder about that other path. You may try to imagine the person you would have been if you had chosen art or music. The many worlds view suggests that you do not need to imagine. That person is real. In a universe that's split from your own, at the very instant of your decision, there is a version of you who said yes to the risk. That you is at this very moment living the artist's life. Perhaps they are struggling, facing financial uncertainty and the sting of rejection. Or perhaps they have found incredible success, their work celebrated, their days filled with the profound joy of creation. Their hands might be stained with paint, their mind filled with melodies, their world colored by a kind of intensity that your stable life has smoothed away. That person is you. They share your childhood memories, your genetic code, your fundamental personality, up until the point of divergence. But their life since that moment has been shaped by a different set of experiences. They have been molded by different challenges, uplifted by different triumphs. They may look a little different now. Their posture might be changed by years of leaning over a canvas. Their eyes might hold a different kind of light. They are a living, breathing testament to the power of a single choice. This doesn't mean their life is better or worse than yours. It is simply different. It is another valid, complete, and meaningful expression of your potential. Just as a rose and a lily are both beautiful and complete expressions of a flower, your life and their life are both beautiful and complete expressions of you. Now, extend this idea to every significant choice. Somewhere, there is a you who had the courage to speak their truth when you remained silent. Somewhere, there is a you who was more patient, more forgiving when you gave in to anger. Somewhere, there is a you who reached out and mended a friendship that you let wither away. This is not a reason for self-recrimination. It is a reason for profound self-compassion. The existence of these other selves, living out these other possibilities, can be a form of release. It means that in the grand tapestry of the multiverse, No potential within you is ever truly lost. Every good impulse you ever had but did not act upon found expression somewhere. Every act of courage you dreamed of but could not summon was performed by another you. The multiverse, in its infinite capacity, is a repository for all your best intentions. And so, the ghost of the person who said yes is transformed. It is no longer a symbol of regret. It is a companion, a silent reminder of the vastness of your own being. It is a testament to the fact that you are larger than this one single life, this one single set of choices. You are a constellation of selves, scattered across a sea of worlds, each one shining with its own unique light. And the life you are living right now is not a final destination. It is simply one journey, one story among an infinity of others. It is this story, and it is yours to live, with the quiet, comforting knowledge that all the other stories are being lived too. There is a profound and quiet ache that can settle upon the heart, the ache of wondering about a life without someone you love. It is a thought we often push away, for it feels too heavy to hold. But in the gentle exploration of parallel worlds, we can dare to touch it, to look upon it not with fear, but with a kind of tender, compassionate curiosity. For most of us, our lives are defined by a constellation of relationships. There are the great, defining loves that shape the very contours of our souls, and the quiet, steady friendships that provide the gentle light we navigate by. It can feel as though our own identity is woven from the threads of these connections, that without them we would be someone else entirely. And perhaps we would be. Imagine the series of improbable, almost magical synchronicities that had to occur for you to meet the person most important to you. 1,000 small decisions, 1,000 random chances, all had to align in just the right way. A missed train, a last-minute change of plans, a decision to walk down one street instead of another. Any one of these, altered by the slightest degree, and your paths might never have crossed. In our single universe view, this chain of events feels like a miracle, a fragile and precious alignment of fate. But in the multiverse, it is simply one outcome among countless others. And this means that for every universe where you did meet, there are likely far, far more where you did not. Somewhere, in a world almost identical to your own, there is a version of you who is living a life without your beloved. Let your mind gently drift towards that person, that other you. They are not a lesser version of you. They are simply a different one. Their life is not necessarily empty or sad. It is just theirs. Perhaps in that world, without the defining presence of your partner, they poured their energy into their work, achieving a level of professional success that has eluded you. Perhaps they traveled the world, their spirit defined by a kind of restless freedom that your settled life does not allow for. Perhaps they found love with someone else, a different kind of love, a different kind of partnership that has brought them a different but equally valid kind of happiness. Or perhaps they have known a deeper solitude, and in that solitude have come to know themselves with a clarity and depth that is only possible when one's primary relationship is with oneself. To contemplate this is not an act of betrayal to the love you have in this life. It is the opposite. It is an act of profound appreciation, the existence of that other you. The one who walks alone or with another highlights the sheer, breathtaking improbability of your own reality. It transforms your love from something that feels inevitable into something that feels like a winning lottery ticket in a lottery with an infinite number of tickets. It is a prize of cosmic proportions. Your meeting was not just a happy accident. It was the crystallization of one beautiful possibility out of an ocean of others. It makes the warmth of their hand in yours, the sound of their voice, the simple fact of their presence in your life feel not just comforting, but miraculous. This exploration also offers a gentle kind of healing for those who have loved and lost. If every possibility is real somewhere, then it is possible to imagine that in another branching of the river, the loss did not occur. Somewhere, there is a world where the illness did not come, where the accident was avoided, where the final goodbye was never said. This does not erase the pain of the loss in this world. The pain is real, and it must be honored, but it can offer a small, quiet space of comfort. The idea that the love, the connection, the life that was lost here continues on, vibrant and whole, in another branch of reality. It suggests that on a cosmic scale, nothing beautiful is ever truly destroyed. It is only moved to another room. The symphony of that relationship continues to play, its music unheard by you, but no less real, in a silent, parallel hall of existence. We tend to think of our other selves as variations on a familiar theme. The you who became a painter, the you who moved to Paris, the you who married another. In these imaginings, the core of you remains intact. The face in the mirror is the same. The foundational memories of childhood are the same. The essential personality, though perhaps colored by different experiences, is still recognizably your own. We imagine these other selves as close relatives, spiritual siblings living in cosmic houses just down the street. And for many of the worlds that branch off from our own, this is likely true. The worlds created by small recent choices would be almost indistinguishable from ours. The you who chose tea instead of coffee this morning is, for all intents and purposes, still you. The differences are trivial, like a single grain of sand on an endless beach. But the branching of worlds is not a recent phenomenon. It has been happening since the beginning of time. Every quantum event, every flicker of possibility since the Big Bang has been creating new universes. This means that the spectrum of your other selves is far vaster, far more strange and wondrous than we can easily imagine. The further back in time, the point of divergence, the more profoundly different the resulting world and the resulting you will be. Imagine a divergence point, not in your own life, but in the life of one of your distant ancestors. A choice they made that, in your timeline, led them to meet the person who would continue your family line. In another world, they made a different choice. They missed that meeting. They went on to live a different life, to love a different person, and the specific genetic sequence that would have led to you never came to be. In that world, you do not exist, but someone else does. Someone whose existence is predicated on that different choice, a distant cosmic cousin you will never know. Now, let's go even deeper. Imagine a world where millions of years ago, the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs in our timeline missed the Earth. In that world, the long reign of the reptiles never ended. Mammals, our distant ancestors, remained small, timid creatures, hiding in the shadows of a world dominated by far larger, more powerful beings. In that world, the evolutionary path that led to humanity was cut off before it could even begin. There would be no you, no humans, no cities, no art, no science as we know it. The dominant intelligent species on that version of Earth might be a form of sentient reptile, their thoughts and perceptions shaped by a completely different evolutionary history. Or perhaps intelligence, as we understand it, would never arise at all. That world, born from a single cosmic near miss, would be as alien to us as another planet, yet it would still be a parallel Earth, a sibling world to our own. And we can go further still, to the bubbles of the inflationary multiverse, where the very laws of physics might be different. In these universes, the other yous might not even be made of the same kind of matter. They could be beings of pure energy, living in a universe of swirling plasma. They could be crystalline intelligences, their thoughts moving at the speed of geology, living in a world of silent geometric perfection. They could exist in ways that our biology and our language are completely unequipped to describe. This is the full, breathtaking scope of the self spectrum. It stretches from the nearly identical twin who is living in a world just next door, to the utterly alien being whose existence is a testament to a completely different set of physical laws. This vast spectrum can recalibrate our sense of self. It shows us that the you we experience is not an absolute, but a contingency. Your existence, just as it is the result of an impossibly long and fragile chain of events, both cosmic and personal. A single, different quantum flicker in the early universe could have resulted in a cosmos where you could not exist. A single different choice by an ancestor could have erased your possibility. A single different choice in your own life has created another you who is living a life subtly different from your own. To understand, this is to be filled with a profound sense of gratitude for this specific, improbable, and precious reality. The fact that you are here now, thinking these thoughts, is a miracle of such staggering proportions that it can feel like a sacred gift. It also dissolves the hard edges of our ego. The idea of a single, separate, and permanent self begins to soften. You are not just this one body, this one mind. You are an expression of a vast, underlying potential. You are one face of an infinite, multifaceted diamond. The other faces, from the nearly identical to the unimaginably alien, are not separate from you. They are all part of the same ultimate identity, the same cosmic unfolding. Seeing this spectrum does not diminish your own importance. It enhances it. It means your life is a participant in a story far grander than you ever realized. You are a unique and necessary note in a symphony that encompasses all possibilities. And the beauty of your particular note is made all the more poignant by the silent, imagined presence of all the other notes that are being played across the entire wondrous spectrum of the self. There is a question that lingers like a quiet, persistent echo in the heart of this exploration. It is a question that probes the very meaning of identity. If there are countless other versions of you, living countless other lives in countless other worlds, are they still you? It is a question that seems simple on the surface, but as you gaze into it, it opens up into a vertiginous, beautiful, and perhaps unanswerable mystery. What is the thread that connects you, here and now, to that other self who made a different choice a decade ago? What is the common ground between you and a version of you from a universe with different physical laws? What, in essence, is the you that we are speaking of? We often anchor our sense of self in our memories. You are you because you remember your childhood, your first love, your greatest triumphs, and your deepest sorrows. Your identity is the story you tell yourself about your past. But the you who chose to move to a new city 10 years ago shares your memories only up to the point of that decision. Since then, they have accumulated a decade of entirely different memories. They remember different faces, different streets, different conversations. Their inner landscape has been shaped by a different emotional weather. While your foundational stories are the same, your recent chapters are completely different books. Are they still you, or have they become a new person who simply shares a common origin with you, a sibling perhaps, but not a twin? Perhaps then, the self is not in the memories, but in the consciousness that experiences them. It is this quiet, persistent flame of awareness, the silent eye that is looking out through your eyes right now. This flame is constant. It was there when you were a child, and it is here now. It feels like the bedrock of your being. So perhaps every version of you shares the same fundamental spark of consciousness. But what is consciousness? Science cannot yet define it. We do not know if it is an emergent property of the brain's complex wiring or something more fundamental to the universe. If it is tied to the brain, then the other you, with a brain that has been subtly rewired by a decade of different experiences, might have a subtly different consciousness. Their inner flame might burn with a slightly different color. Are they still you? Maybe the thread is our physical body, our unique genetic code. DNA is the blueprint, the biological signature that makes you, you. Every version of you that branched off within your own lifetime would share this identical genetic heritage. This feels solid, tangible, a scientific anchor in a sea of philosophical uncertainty. But what of the yous in other bubble universes, where the laws of chemistry itself might be different? They would not have DNA. Their life might be based on silicon instead of carbon. Their form might be something we cannot even imagine, and yet they are still a product of a chain of events that is an alternative to our own. They are still a part of the great what if. Is there any thread at all that connects you to them? Perhaps the question itself is flawed. We are trying to apply a singular classical concept of identity. The idea that you are one, distinct and separate thing, to a quantum reality, where everything is interconnected and fluid. Perhaps you are not a single point, but a field, a vast, multidimensional pattern of potential that extends across all possible worlds. This body, this mind, this set of memories is just one single, localized peak in that vast field of identity. The other yous are other peaks, other crystallizations of the same underlying potential. In this view, they are all you, and at the same time, none of them are the complete you. The complete you is the entire pattern, the whole symphony. To ask if another you is still you is like asking if a single wave is still the ocean. It is not the entire ocean, but it is also not separate from it. It is a momentary, beautiful expression of the ocean's true nature. This doesn't provide a simple answer. It provides something better, a sense of expansion. It gently dissolves the rigid boundaries of the ego. The question ceases to be a problem to be solved and becomes a wonder to be inhabited. You are not a noun. You are a verb. You are not a static object, but an ongoing process of becoming, a process that is unfolding in infinite ways across an infinite canvas. The question of identity is not about finding a thread that ties all these versions of you together. It is about realizing that you are the thread itself, a thread woven from the fabric of the cosmos, showing up in countless beautiful and unique patterns, all at once. And the quiet, persistent echo in your heart is not a question seeking an answer, but the sound of your own vast, multidimensional self, whispering a reminder of its own boundless existence. There is a deep and natural yearning that arises from this vision of countless worlds. It is the desire to connect, to reach out, to see for ourselves what lies on the other side of the veil. If there is another you who took the path of the artist, what would it be like to stand in their studio, to see the world through their eyes, if only for a moment? If there is a world where a loved one was not lost, what would we give to hear their voice just one more time? This desire is a testament to our profound capacity for empathy and our unquenchable curiosity. We are pattern seekers, storytellers, and the thought of all these other stories playing out, just beyond our reach, is almost painfully tantalizing. But the same science that offers us this magnificent vision of other worlds also delivers a message of profound and beautiful silence. The mathematics of quantum mechanics and the geometry of higher dimensions suggest that these parallel universes are, for all practical purposes, utterly separate from our own. There is no known bridge, no doorway, no method of communication that can pass between them. The splitting of a universe is a clean break. The pages of the cosmic book are sealed shut. The different bubbles in the multiverse float in their own isolated pockets of space-time, unable to ever touch. This isolation can at first feel like a form of cosmic cruelty, to be shown a vision of infinite possibility, only to be told that we are eternally confined to just one version of it. It can feel like being in a room filled with beautiful locked treasure chests, with no hope of ever finding a key. But perhaps this silence, this perfect isolation, is not a cruelty. Perhaps it is a kind of gift. Imagine for a moment if we could communicate with our other selves. Imagine if you could get a daily report from the you who became a CEO, the you who lives in a monastery, and the you who is struggling with a deep depression. The sheer volume of information would be overwhelming. The constant awareness of all the other paths would make it impossible to focus on your own. You would be paralyzed by the endless comparison, forever haunted by the knowledge of joys you are not having and sorrows you are not suffering. Your own life, this one precious singular thread, would be lost in the noise of a billion other possibilities. The silence between the worlds is what allows each world to have its own integrity. It is what makes your choices meaningful. If you could simply switch to another reality, whenever this one became difficult, the concepts of courage, of resilience, of commitment would lose their power. It is the very fact that you must live with the consequences of your choices that gives those choices weight and beauty. It is the finality of the closed door that makes the room you are in your own. This cosmic silence teaches us a profound lesson about presence. It gently guides our attention away from the infinite what-ifs and back to the singular, tangible what is. It reminds us that while an infinite number of stories may be playing out across the multiverse, this one, right here, is the only one you will ever get to experience. This breath, this heartbeat, this quiet moment, this is your universe. This is your story. The other worlds, in their silent, parallel unfolding, serve as a magnificent, invisible backdrop that makes your own reality shine all the more brightly. They are the darkness of the night sky that allows your one small, beautiful star to be seen. So, let the yearning for connection with those other worlds transform. Let it become not a yearning to escape, but a yearning to more fully inhabit the world you are in. Live this life with the quiet dignity of knowing it is one of a kind. Make your choices with the gentle awareness that each one is an act of creation. Love the people in this world with the fierce tenderness that comes from knowing how improbable and precious your meeting is. The silence between the worlds is not an absence. It is a space for your own life to resonate. It is the gift of focus. It is the universe's way of whispering to you, this one, this life, this moment, this is the one that matters. This is the one that is yours. There is a strange and beautiful phenomenon at the heart of quantum physics, one that seems to defy our most basic understanding of space and separation. It is called quantum entanglement. It occurs when two particles are linked in such a way that they become, in essence, two parts of a single system, no matter how far apart they are. If you measure a property of one particle, you instantly know the corresponding property of its entangled twin. Even if that twin is on the other side of the galaxy, it is as if they are connected by an invisible, instantaneous thread. A change in one is reflected in the other, a silent conversation that travels faster than the speed of light. Albert Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance because it seemed to violate the cosmic speed limit, the idea that nothing can travel faster than light. While we cannot use this phenomenon to send information, it reveals a profound truth about the nature of reality. It shows us that the universe is not just a collection of separate individual objects. It is a deeply interconnected web. The idea that two things are truly separate may be a grand illusion, a trick of our limited perception. At a fundamental level, everything that has ever interacted is in some way still connected. We are all, in a very real sense, part of one single vast and intricate system. Now let us take this established, though strange, scientific fact and use it not as a literal explanation, but as a gentle poetic metaphor, a way of feeling into the mystery of our connection to our other selves. While the laws of physics may keep our parallel worlds eternally separate, perhaps there is another kind of connection, an invisible, instantaneous thread of being that links all the versions of you together across the multiverse. Imagine that at the moment of a choice, when your universe splits into two, the two versions of you that are created are like entangled particles. They are born from a single state, and they are forever linked by that common origin. They may go on to live wildly different lives, to be separated by the impassable gulf between realities, but that fundamental entanglement remains. It is not something you can perceive or measure. It is a silent, underlying truth, a kind of cosmic resonance. This means that when you feel a moment of profound, unexplainable joy, perhaps your entangled twin in another universe, the one who took the great risk and succeeded, is experiencing a triumph, and your own heart, through this invisible thread, feels a faint echo of their elation. When you are overcome by a wave of inexplicable sadness, perhaps another you, in another world, is grieving a loss, and your own soul, in its deep quantum connection, resonates with a shadow of their sorrow. This is not to say that our emotions are not our own. They are, but it suggests that we are more than just this one isolated self. We are part of a larger emotional ecosystem. We are nodes in a vast, multiversal network of feeling. The quiet, background hum of our own consciousness may be colored by the collective experiences of all our other selves. The sudden creative insight that seems to come from nowhere, perhaps it is a faint echo of a discovery made by the you who became a scientist. The unexpected surge of courage you feel in a difficult moment, perhaps it is a resonance from the you who in another life became a hero. This metaphorical entanglement offers a beautiful way to reimagine our own inner world. The moods and feelings that drift through us, seemingly without cause, may not be random noise. They may be the whispers, the faint, psychic echoes from our other lives. They are reminders that we are not alone, even in our most solitary moments. We are accompanied by a silent chorus of our own other selves, each one living out a different facet of our shared potential. We carry their triumphs and their sorrows within us, just as they carry ours. This does not change the life we must live here. We are still responsible for this path, for these choices, but it can infuse our journey with a sense of profound and mysterious companionship. It means that when you are striving, you are not striving alone. An infinite number of your other selves are striving with you. When you are loving, you are not loving alone. Your love is amplified by the love felt in countless other worlds. And when you are simply being, in a moment of quiet stillness, you are part of a vast, silent, and beautiful meditation, a collective state of being that spans across all of reality. You are one, and you are many, and you are all in a way we can never fully understand, mysteriously and beautifully connected. We have a habit of seeing our choices through the lens of loss. When we stand at a crossroads and choose one path, our attention often drifts to the path not taken. We mourn it, like a ghost limb, feeling the phantom ache of the life we did not get to live. The decision becomes an act of exclusion, a closing of doors, a narrowing of our own potential. We see our life as a sculpture, and every choice as the chisel stroke that chips away a piece of the original, untouched block of possibility, leaving us with something smaller, more defined, and perhaps less than what we could have been. But the vision of a branching multiverse invites us to turn this entire idea on its head. It offers us a new and profoundly empowering way to understand the nature of a choice. A choice is not an act of subtraction, it is an act of creation. Imagine you are standing in a place of perfect silence and stillness, a void of pure, undifferentiated potential. Now imagine that with a single thought, a single act of will, you can bring an entire universe into being. With one decision, you can cause galaxies to blossom, stars to ignite, and new worlds to begin their slow, graceful spin. This is the power the multiverse ascribes to you, to every conscious being, at every moment of choice. When you stand before two paths, you are not closing the door on one, you are opening the door to both. In the instant of your decision, you are not destroying a possible future. You are giving birth to two actual ones. The you who takes the path to the left does not erase the you who takes the path to the right. Instead, your single reality blossoms into two, each one as real and as valid as the other. Your decision is the fertile moment, the seed from which new worlds spring. This transforms the very feeling of making a choice. The weight of getting it right begins to lift. In a single universe model, the pressure is immense. We believe there is one correct path, and our happiness depends on finding it. Every choice is fraught with the anxiety of making a mistake, of taking a wrong turn that will lead us to a lesser life. But in the multiverse, there are no wrong turns, because every turn is taken. There are no mistakes, only variations. The universe, in its infinite wisdom and compassion, ensures that every single possibility is explored. Your role is not to find the one right path out of many. Your role is to be the creator of paths. Your purpose is to stand at the loom of reality, and with your choices, weave new threads into its ever-expanding tapestry. Let this understanding settle into the quiet spaces of your heart. Think of a choice you have made that you now regret, a decision that you feel led you down a path of difficulty or sorrow. In the old view, this is a scar, a point of pain in your personal history. But in the new view, it is a point of creation. The very difficulty you faced in this world is what allowed another you in another world to experience the path of ease. Your act of choosing created both realities. You are the silent, unthanked benefactor of that other, happier self. And they, in turn, are the reason your own path has the meaning that it does. The two paths define each other, like light and shadow. Neither is a mistake. Both are necessary parts of a larger, more complete picture. This does not erase the pain you may have felt. The pain is real, but it can place that pain in a larger, more compassionate context. Your struggle was not for nothing. It was a creative act that allowed another version of you to flourish. And so, we can begin to walk through our lives with a different kind of lightness. We can make our choices not with anxiety, but with a sense of quiet, creative power. Each decision, from the monumental to the mundane, becomes a sacred act. When you choose to be kind in a moment of anger, you are not just performing a good deed in this world, you are birthing a universe where kindness prevails. When you choose to pursue a difficult dream, you are not just taking a risk for yourself, you are creating a reality where courage is made manifest. You are a gardener in the infinite fields of existence, and your choices are the seeds you plant. You may only ever get to see the flower that grows on your particular patch of land, but you can live with the quiet, profound knowledge that because of you, countless other gardens are also in bloom across the vast and silent landscape of the multiverse. Every choice is a genesis. Every moment is a new beginning. there is a quiet and heavy burden that many of us carry. It is the weight of the past, the accumulated gravity of all our regrets. It is the haunting melody of if only I had been braver, if only I had known then what I know now, if only I had chosen differently. We walk through our present moments, but we are often tethered to these ghosts of the past, dragging them behind us like invisible chains. We replay scenes in our minds, rewriting the dialogue, restaging the actions, as if we could somehow, through sheer force of will, alter the unchangeable fabric of what has been. This struggle with the past is a source of immense and quiet suffering. It is a war we wage against a phantom, a war that can never be won because we are fighting against the simple, immovable fact that we can only live one life. But the vision of the multiverse offers a path to a different kind of peace. It does not ask you to forget the past, nor to pretend your regrets are not real. It asks you to see them in a new light. It offers a way not to change your past, but to make peace with it, to reconcile with the road you are on, precisely because all the other roads are also being traveled. Imagine that every if only that has ever echoed in your mind is not a lament for a lost possibility, but a quiet acknowledgement of a coexisting reality. The moment you think, if only I had taken that job, you can gently follow it with a new thought. And somewhere, a version of me did. That life was not lost. That potential was not wasted. It is being lived fully and completely by another you. The universe, in its boundless compassion, has taken that burden of what if from your shoulders and has given it a home, a reality, a life of its own. This realization can be a profound form of release. It is like standing in a room full of locked doors, mourning all the rooms you cannot enter, only to be told that a trusted friend has the key to every single one and is exploring them all on your behalf. You can let go of the need to have been everywhere, to have done everything. You can release the impossible expectation that this one single life should contain all the multitudes of your potential. It cannot. It was never meant to. Your life is meant to be this life, specific, unique, limited, and it is in that very limitation that its beauty and its meaning are found. The existence of all the other paths allows you to more fully and peacefully embrace your own. You no longer have to carry the weight of all the people you could have been. You are free to simply be the person that you are. This peace is not a passive resignation. It is an active, engaged acceptance. It is the difference between being a prisoner in a single room and being the master of a house with many rooms, who has simply chosen to spend their time in this particular one. The knowledge of the other rooms does not make this one feel like a cage. It makes it feel like a choice. You can begin to look at the specific details of your own life, the people you know, the places you inhabit, the challenges you face, not as the result of a series of accidental or mistaken turns, but as the defining features of this unique and precious timeline. This is your chapter in the great, infinite book of the self, and it is a beautiful one, not in spite of its limitations, but because of them. So, the next time the ghost of a past regret comes to visit you in a quiet moment, you do not have to fight it. You do not have to push it away. You can greet it with a new kind of gentle understanding. You can acknowledge the path it represents. You can wish the you who is walking that path well, and then you can gently turn your attention back to the ground beneath your own feet. You can feel the air in your own lungs. You can look with fresh eyes at the world that is right here in front of you. The journey to peace is not about erasing the other path. It is about falling in love with your own, and the multiverse, in its silent, magnificent, and all-encompassing grace, gives you the ultimate permission to do just that. We have journeyed far tonight, to the very edges of theoretical physics, into the vast and dizzying landscapes of infinite possibility. We have contemplated the existence of countless other selves, living countless other lives, scattered across a sea of parallel realities. These ideas are immense, and they can feel distant, abstract, like constellations of thought so far away that their light barely reaches us. But what if the truest parallel worlds are not in some other dimension or in some other bubble of space-time? What if the most vibrant, accessible, and meaningful multiverse is the one you carry within you right now? What if your own mind is the ultimate theater of possibility? Think of your imagination. Within the silent, boundless space of your own consciousness, you can create worlds at will. You can conjure the sun-drenched streets of a city you've never visited. You can hear the sound of an ocean that exists only in your mind. You can hold a conversation with a version of yourself who is braver, wiser, and more at peace. This inner world is not bound by the laws of physics. In it, you can fly. You can travel through time. You can build entire civilizations with a single thought. Your imagination is a universe generator of infinite power. Every daydream, every fantasy is a visit to a private parallel world, a world that is uniquely and completely your own. And what of your memories? Your past is not a single, fixed timeline that you revisit. It is a living landscape that you co-create every time you remember it. When you recall a moment from your childhood, you are not just playing back a recording, you are rebuilding that moment from the fragments of sensory input and emotional resonance stored in your brain. And in that act of rebuilding, you can choose where to place your attention. You can choose to focus on the joy of that moment or the sadness. You can see it from your own perspective, or you can try to imagine it from the perspective of another. In this way, your past is not one world, but many. It is a multiverse of interpretations, and you are the traveler who decides which of those inner worlds to inhabit in this present moment. Your dreams, too, are nightly visits to parallel realities. In the dream state, the logical, linear mind recedes, and the deeper, more associative parts of your consciousness are free to play. You are cast into narratives that defy all logic. You meet people who are amalgams of everyone you have ever known. You experience emotions with a vividness that can sometimes surpass your waking life. The dream world is a place where the subconscious mind explores possibilities, works through fears, and speaks in a language of pure symbol and metaphor. It is a parallel universe that you build and inhabit every single night, a silent, personal odyssey that unfolds behind your closed eyes. To see your own mind in this way can be a profound shift in perspective. It means that you do not need to be a physicist to be a multiverse explorer. You are already an expert. You have been navigating these inner worlds your entire life. This doesn't diminish the reality of the physical multiverse. The two ideas can exist together beautifully. The outer multiverse is the vast, objective canvas of all that could possibly be. The inner multiverse is your own personal, subjective experience of that infinite potential. The inner worlds are your training ground, your simulator for understanding the grander cosmic reality. By learning to navigate the parallel worlds of your own imagination, memory, and dreams, with awareness and compassion, you are learning to be at home in a universe of infinite possibility. So, in your quiet moments, you do not need to strain to imagine another you in another dimension. You can simply close your eyes and look within. You can visit the you who is living by the sea, simply by imagining the sound of the waves and the feeling of salt on your skin. You can have a conversation with the you who made a different choice by exploring that scenario with gentle curiosity in your own mind. You can access the wisdom of your countless potential selves because in a very real way, they all live inside you. They are the archetypes, the dreams, the fears, and the hopes that make up the rich and complex landscape of your own psyche. The greatest journey of discovery is not to travel to other worlds. It is to explore the infinite, beautiful, and ever-present universe that is quietly and patiently waiting for you, right here, within the silent sanctuary of your own mind. There is a powerful and subtle illusion that governs our lives. It is the belief in a single, solid, and objective reality. We wake up each morning and assume that the world we are perceiving is the world, the one and only. We believe that our experience of time, of space, of cause and effect is a direct and accurate reflection of the way things truly are. This belief is a necessary tool for navigating our daily lives. It provides a sense of stability, of predictability, of common ground upon which we can all agree. Without it, the world would be a chaotic and unlivable dream. But the journey into the heart of modern physics and the deep exploration of our own consciousness gently whispers a different truth. The solid, singular reality we experience may be a beautiful and useful illusion. The vision of a branching quantum multiverse suggests that what we call reality is just one single frame in an infinite motion picture. It is one timeline, one branch of a tree, with an uncountable number of other branches. Our consciousness, for reasons we do not yet understand, experiences only one of these branches at a time. It follows a single continuous path through the forest of possibility. But the existence of our one path does not negate the existence of all the others. Our reality is not the reality. It is simply a reality. It is the one that has crystallized around our particular string of observations and choices. This thought is not meant to destabilize us. It is meant to fill us with a sense of profound humility and wonder. It is like realizing that the single familiar island on which you have lived your entire life is just one island in a vast, uncharted archipelago. The world is suddenly so much larger, so much more mysterious than you ever knew. Our own subjective experience also points to this truth. Two people can witness the exact same event and come away with two completely different memories of it. They were in the same place, at the same time, yet they inhabited two different subjective realities. Our moods, our beliefs, our past experiences all act as powerful filters that shape the way we perceive the world. A walk in the rain can be a joyful sensory experience for one person and a miserable, depressing ordeal for another. The rain is the same, the objective event is the same, but the reality experienced is entirely different. We are each living in a universe of our own making, a world colored by the unique lens of our own consciousness. We are not just perceiving reality, we are co-creating it, moment by moment. To embrace this idea is to let go of the need to be right. It is to release the rigid certainty that our own view of the world is the only correct one. If reality is not a single fixed thing, but a vast spectrum of possibilities, then every perspective has its own kind of validity. It is a single note in the great symphony. This can open up a space for a deeper and more authentic kind of empathy. When we disagree with someone, we are not just disagreeing about facts, we are getting a glimpse into the different reality they are inhabiting. We can learn to approach each other, not with the goal of proving our own reality is superior, but with the gentle curiosity of a traveler visiting a foreign land. This does not mean that there are no truths, or that all realities are equal in their wisdom or compassion, but it does mean that the foundation of our existence is far more fluid, far more mysterious, and far more participatory than we commonly believe. The world is not a solid object that we are simply looking at. It is a dance, and we are the dancers. The shape of the dance is created by the interplay between the vast potential of the cosmos and the focused attention of our own consciousness. Letting go of the illusion of a single reality is like waking up within a dream. You do not cease to be in the dream, but you are now aware that it is a dream, and with that awareness comes a new sense of freedom, a new sense of playfulness, and a new sense of awe at the incredible creative power of the mind that is dreaming it all into being. You are not a visitor in this universe. You are a vital participant in its ongoing creation, and the reality you are experiencing is not a destination. It is a single, beautiful, and ever-changing work of art that you are helping to paint. In the vast, silent theater of the multiverse, with its infinite stages and countless plays, it is easy to feel small. The sheer scale of all that is, and all that could be, can be overwhelming. Our own lives, with their quiet dramas and gentle routines, can seem insignificant against such a grand and cosmic backdrop. We can feel like a single forgotten grain of sand on a beach that stretches across endless worlds. But this feeling arises from a misunderstanding. The infinite nature of existence does not diminish the value of our one singular life. On the contrary, it is the very thing that makes it infinitely precious. It is the dark velvet of the endless night that allows the tiny, warm flame of this one moment to be seen in all its fragile beauty. Let your awareness, which has traveled so far tonight, begin to gently return. Bring it back from the distant shores of possibility, from the silent halls of other worlds, and let it settle softly into the here and now. Feel the simple, undeniable reality of your own body. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest with each breath. Feel the subtle warmth of the blood moving through your veins. Notice the gentle pressure of the surface that is supporting you, holding you, anchoring you to this one specific place in the cosmos. This body, this breath, this moment, this is not a dream. This is not a theory. This is your reality, and it is a miracle. It is a miracle precisely because of the infinite number of other possibilities that did not happen in order for this one to be. Think of the uncountable chain of events that had to align perfectly for you to exist. The formation of this specific galaxy, this specific star, this specific planet, the long, slow, and perilous journey of evolution, navigating 1,000 cosmic and terrestrial dangers, the meeting of countless ancestors, each a story of love or chance that could have so easily gone another way. And then your own life, the web of choices and synchronicities that have brought you to this very point, listening to these words. The odds of this exact moment occurring, of this exact version of you being here to experience it, are so infinitesimally small as to be statistically zero. And yet, here you are. You are the winning ticket in a lottery with an infinite number of entries. You are the one possibility that against all odds made it through. The existence of other worlds does not make your life a lesser copy. It makes it a masterpiece of cosmic chance. It means that this specific combination of atoms, this specific consciousness, this unique and unrepeatable story, is a treasure of the highest order. There are infinite other yous. Yes, but none of them are this you. None of them are breathing this air. In this room, at this exact moment, none of them are feeling the specific texture of this feeling, thinking the specific nuance of this thought. This experience is yours alone. It is a unique brushstroke on the canvas of reality, a note that has never been played before and will never be played again in exactly the same way. And so, a new kind of gratitude can begin to blossom in the quiet garden of your heart. It is not a gratitude for what you have in comparison to others. It is a gratitude for what you are in comparison to the infinite possibilities of what you are not. It is a gratitude for the simple, profound, and earth-shattering fact of your own existence. Every breath becomes a quiet celebration of this improbability. Every heartbeat becomes a drumbeat of cosmic victory. The taste of water, the warmth of a blanket, the sound of a loved one's voice, these are not just mundane details. They are the sacred textures of your particular universe. They are the details of the one story out of an infinite library of stories that you get to read firsthand. Let this feeling of gratitude wash over you like a gentle, warming tide. Let it dissolve any lingering feelings of regret for paths not taken. Those paths are being walked. Let it soothe any anxiety about the future. Every possible future will unfold. All you are asked to do, all you ever need to do, is to be fully present for this one, to be the faithful and loving custodian of this one, precious and unrepeatably beautiful reality. The multiverse is not a distraction from your life. It is the ultimate reason to fall in love with it. It is the silent cosmic witness that sees you in your unique and singular being and affirms that you, this you, right here, right now, are a miracle of profound and incalculable worth. Imagine all of existence as a single, magnificent piece of music, a symphony of infinite complexity and eternal duration. It is a composition so vast that no single listener could ever hope to hear it all. Now, imagine that every parallel universe, every branching timeline, every bubble in the great cosmic ocean is a single instrument in this orchestra. Each one plays its own unique part, its own distinct melody. Some are quiet, gentle themes played on a single flute. Others are grand, soaring crescendos played by 1,000 strings. Some are dissonant, chaotic passages of percussion, and others are passages of pure, resonant silence. Together, they form a whole that is far greater than the sum of its parts. Your life, this one singular thread of experience, is a single note in this symphony. It may feel at times like a very small and quiet note, but it is not insignificant. For the symphony to be complete, every single note must be played. Your joy is a bright, clear note that adds a moment of harmony. Your sorrow is a deep, resonant note that adds a layer of emotional complexity. Your courage, your kindness, your confusion, your peace, every single experience, every feeling, every thought you have ever had is part of the texture of your note. It is a necessary and irreplaceable part of the overall composition. Without your note, the symphony of all that is would be subtly, but eternally, incomplete. There is a version of you in another world whose life is a triumphant, heroic melody. There is another you whose life is a quiet, contemplative chant. There is another whose life is a chaotic, improvisational jazz solo. They are all playing their part. You are not meant to play their melody. You are meant to play yours, to try and live someone else's life. To mourn the part you are not given to play is to miss the beauty and the importance of your own. Your only task is to play your one note with as much presence, as much feeling, and as much authenticity as you can muster. This vision can bring a profound sense of peace and belonging. You are not an isolated actor struggling to make your way in a chaotic world. You are a musician in a cosmic orchestra, and you are perfectly, beautifully, and necessarily a part of the whole. Your individual struggles are part of a larger collective harmony. Your personal triumphs contribute to the symphony's overall glory. You are connected to all the other yous, not by a physical bridge, but by the fact that you are all playing in the same orchestra, contributing to the same magnificent piece of music. You are all part of the same song. So, as you rest here, begin to let go of the need to understand the whole composition. You do not need to hear all the other instruments. You can trust that they are playing their parts, just as you are playing yours. Your role is simply to be your note, to feel its vibration in your own being, to allow it to be exactly what it is, without judgment or resistance. Let the striving cease. Let the comparison fall away. Let the quiet, simple dignity of your own existence be enough. In the grand, silent, and ever-unfolding symphony of the multiverse, you are a perfect and essential note, and all you have to do is be. And so, our journey through the infinite worlds begins to draw to a close. We have traveled on the wings of thought to the furthest reaches of the cosmos and deep into the inner landscapes of the mind. We have stood in awe before the sheer, breathtaking scale of what might be. Now, it is time for the traveler to come home. It is time to let these vast and wondrous ideas dissolve like sugar in warm water into the quiet, peaceful ocean of rest. The exploration is over for tonight. The mystery will still be there tomorrow, waiting for you. Let your awareness, which has been so wide and expansive, now begin to gently gather itself. Imagine it as a soft, warm light that has been spread out across the stars. Now, see it slowly, gently, drawing back, leaving the distant galaxies behind, moving past the silent, spinning planets, and returning to the solar system, to this one, familiar, blue and white world. See the light continue to draw inward, passing through the atmosphere, through the clouds, over the sleeping continents, and the dark, peaceful oceans. It narrows further, finding the roof of the very building you are in. And then, softly, gently, it comes to rest right here, in the center of your own being. You are home. Feel the gentle weight of your body. It is a comfortable, reassuring weight. It is your anchor in this one, precious reality. Notice the feeling of the blankets around you, a soft, warm cocoon of safety and peace. The world outside, with all its noise and complexity, can fade away now. It has no claim on you here. This space is yours. This quiet is yours. This peace is yours. Let go of any thoughts about the day that has passed. Its story is written. Let go of any thoughts about the day to come. Its pages are still blank. All that exists is this one, simple, peaceful moment. This one, gentle breath. Imagine the thoughts that may still be drifting through your mind. See them not as problems to be solved or as intrusions to be pushed away. See them as soft white clouds drifting slowly across the vast blue sky of your awareness. You do not need to cling to them. You do not need to follow them. You can simply watch them with a gentle, detached curiosity as they appear, drift, and then in their own time, dissolve into the blueness of the sky. The space between your thoughts is a place of profound and healing stillness. It is the silent, empty space between the worlds. It is a place of pure potential and pure rest. Allow yourself to sink into that stillness. If you notice any tension remaining in your body, you can let that go now too. Let your jaw soften. Let your shoulders release and grow heavy. Let your hands and your feet become warm and wonderfully limp. There is nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to be. There is nothing you need to hold on to. You can simply allow the gentle gravitational pull of sleep to draw you downwards into a place of deep and effortless rest. The universe is vast, and you are a part of it. The symphony is infinite, and you are a part of it. All is well. All is taken care of. You can let go now. And as you drift on the soft and gentle currents of approaching sleep, you may carry with you a final quiet thought. Perhaps the dream world is the one place where the veil between the worlds grows thin. Perhaps in your dreams, you get to catch a fleeting glimpse of those other lives, those other realities. Perhaps every dream is a short visit to another branch of the great cosmic tree. So do not be afraid to let go of this shore. There are beautiful and wondrous worlds waiting for you in the ocean of your own deep mind. The journey is not over. It is just beginning. Sleep well, and may you have beautiful dreams in this world and in all the others. Good night.